Hello and welcome to The Update. I'm Michelle Stevenson. The federal government has unveiled drastic changes to Australia's migration system in a bid to reduce the number of people entering the country. People who come here to study will face greater scrutiny, including tougher English language standards, but some highly skilled specialists will have their application fast-tracked to fill key labour shortages. Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill says Australia has some big national challenges that need to be addressed.
We are going to make sure that we bring numbers back under control, that we build a better planned system around essential things like housing, and perhaps most importantly of all, that we build a program that delivers for the national interest.
While Business Council Chief Executive Bran Black says the reforms get the balance just right.
It is always the preference to produce the workers that we need for the skill sets that we require right here at home. But the fact is right now we're not producing in sufficient numbers the workforce that we need for the future that we want.
A Victorian driver will have to wait until Friday to learn whether he will be released on bail after facing court charged over a horrific crash in Daylesford. 2 children were among 5 people killed when a car mounted a curb and ploughed into a packed beer garden last month. The 66-year-old man who was behind the wheel has been hit with more than a dozen charges, police alleging he didn't treat his diabetes adequately that day. Well, evacuation centres have been set up in Cooktown, the Douglas Shire, as well as Cairns, in preparation for the impact of Tropical Cyclone Jasper. The Category 1 system is due to cross the coast between Cooktown and Townsville on Wednesday. Queensland Health Minister Shannon Fetterman has announced she'll run for the state's Labor leadership in the wake of Anastasia Palaszczuk's shock resignation. She's expected to go head-to-head with Deputy Leader Stephen Miles in Friday's Party Room ballot. And a class action lawsuit against JB Hi-Fi is seeking compensation into the millions of dollars over its sale of extended warranties. Now, sport and entertainment are next. To sport, and David Warner's teammates are expecting him to brush off criticism from former Test player Mitchell Johnson. Warner will play the final 3 tests of his career against Pakistan, the first of which begins Thursday. And former Wallabies boss Eddie Jones is expected to be confirmed as Japan's coach in the coming days. That's despite denying he'd had contact with Japanese rugby nearly 20 times. In entertainment news now, and in a sign that everything old is new again, Kanye West has shared a preview for a track from his upcoming album. The track called Everybody samples the Backstreet Boys. Well, Beyonce's reign at the US box office has come to an end in its second week. Renaissance falling from the top spot to number 5, making only $5 million in the North American market. And it seems one NFL commentator in the US has jumped the shark amid speculation. Travis Kelce is preparing to pop the question to Taylor Swift. The ground announcer sending Swifties into a frenzy after referring to the pop star as his wife.
Kelsey's wife, Taylor Swift, in the audience, or I'm sorry, girlfriend. Not yet.
And that's the latest from the Nova Podcast News team. We'll have another episode of The Update for you tomorrow. I'm Michelle Stevenson.